Friday, August 25th, 2023. Topic: Domestic policy of Vladimir Putin. Please pardon any visual and informational inaccuracies in this entirely AI-generated video.
This text provides an overview of Putin's domestic policies, their impact on Russia's political structure, economy, and the measures taken against crime and terrorism. Putin's domestic policies aim to centralize power, dividing Russia's 89 federal subjects into 7 districts overseen by his own appointees. He reduced the number of federal subjects to 83 and gained the right to dismiss their heads. Direct elections for governors were ended in 2004 to curb separatist tendencies and crime, but reintroduced in 2012. Putin also curbed the political ambitions of Yeltsin-era oligarchs, leading to exiles and imprisonments. His administration fought organized crime and terrorism, reducing murder rates and terrorist acts, and implemented key reforms in state security, police, and military. Under Putin's first administration, Russia's economy grew an average of 7% per year, making it the 7th largest economy in the world in purchasing power. Russia's nominal GDP increased 6-fold, climbing from 22nd to 10th largest in the world. Industry grew by 76%, investments increased by 125%, and real incomes more than doubled. The number of people living below the poverty line decreased from 30% in 2000 to 14% in 2008. Putin also introduced a flat tax rate of 13% and reduced the corporate tax rate from 35% to 24%. The Russian Foreign Agent Law, passed in 2012, requires anyone receiving support or influence from outside Russia to register as a foreign agent, subjecting them to additional audits and requiring a disclaimer on all publications. In 2013, President Putin signed a law forbidding government officials from holding overseas bank accounts, following a bill banning such practices passed by the State Duma. The Russian government under Putin is promoting larger families through natalist policies, including reviving the Soviet-era Mother Heroine Award in August 2022, which rewards women with 10 children. Russia has been increasing its military and economic presence in the Arctic, with plans to station 2 brigades there and increase the operational radius of its Northern Fleet submarines. The country is also constructing floating nuclear power plants to provide power to Arctic coastal cities and gas rigs, and is developing the world's first ice-resistant oil platform. In 2011, Russian oil company Rosneft signed a deal with ExxonMobil for joint development of Arctic resources. President Putin signed the Kyoto Protocol in 2004, but Russia did not face mandatory emission cuts due to a drop in its greenhouse gas emissions post the Soviet Union's breakup. Putin also oversees and promotes several protection programs for endangered animals in Russia, including the Amur tiger, white whale, polar bear, and snow leopard programs. Russian President Vladimir Putin has been supportive of religious freedoms, particularly for Orthodox Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and Judaism, which are defined by law as Russia's traditional religions. His approach to religious policy has been to unify different religions under the authority of the state. Putin has established good relationships with religious leaders and is popular among the Russian Jewish community. He has also supported the construction and restoration of churches and allowed the teaching of religion in schools. Russia's defense minister Anatoly Serdyukov announced in 2007 that 11 ships, including the aircraft carrier Kuznetsov, would participate in the first major Navy sortie into the Mediterranean since Soviet times. This followed the resumption of long-distance flights of Russia's strategic bombers. In 2008, Russia began a full-scale military reform to modernize its armed forces and make them more effective. The reform included reducing the armed forces to a strength of 1 million, centralizing officer training, introducing more civilian logistics and auxiliary staff, and reorganizing the reserves in the army. Russian President Vladimir Putin has submitted draft amendments to the State Duma, proposing 14 changes to the Constitution. These include making Russian law superior to international law, increasing the residency requirement for presidential candidates from 10 to 25 years, and defining marriage as a union between a man and a woman. The amendments also propose giving the State Duma the right to approve the Prime Minister and other high-ranking officials, and enshrining the status of the Russian language in the Constitution. In conclusion, Putin's reign saw significant centralization of power, economic growth, and poverty reduction, despite controversies over his handling of federal subjects and oligarchs.